What's this? What's this? Oh, it's sand. That makes sense. Nightmare Christmas references aside, yeah, I regret nothing, but so sand, similar texture. I thought that was a good intro, but besides the point. This I think is really interesting because it has this sort of like, we have to work together because stuff is bad. I'm not going to talk too much in this section because besides really interesting stuff, the animation looks fun in like this in this like really interesting way. A lot of like shows have a more flatter animation, while this looks more three-dimensional. Again, I watch a lot of animation. I'm not an expert in animation. I am pretty not that smart in that area, but I do like it, and I do like the story of like two sides are like, okay, we are not allies, but situations are bad, so we kind of need to work together, which is fun. So yeah. So this section will be really long, because overall, there's a lot to say. So this is split up into like two sections, which is looking for like the spring or like this place where you can get water, and the going to the forest kingdom, or like the forest land, because the first season is in the Sandland, and trying to see what's happening there. So I'll split them into two sections, but realistically you're not going to have, and now the second part, they're both going to be roughly in the same thing ish. So I'm not going to be like, and now this. I will bring it up, but okay. The first section. It's really good, and when you start to look into it, you learn more about certain things that are going on, the experiments of like, oh, someone's trying to make water, but why would you want to stop that unless for profit? And there's more things of like, a certain general comes back and it's him. He also has this really fun machine. And it's the idea of like, oh, we put a limit on how much like water like you can profit and all of that stuff, and like you can create a level of peace. I'm sorry, I don't think you can persuade me argument that monopolizing. Sorry about that. My screen keeps going. Monopolizing water is a good thing. It will always be a bad thing because then people die. So yeah, this is really interesting because of that. So yeah, and definitely when you learn certain things about how like a certain crystal happened, and it's really interesting. But what's the other section? The other section, at first, you kind of see this general trying to take over in this like military takeover in this interesting way. And at first, it's kind of obvious. Good and bad. And you do get a bit of that. You have this angel character who's, I think, really interesting. That keeps going there. Oh, they're demons. Oh, I have to get rid of these fiends. I'm an angel. It's like, oh, you're cute. You're not the good guy in this situation. No, I'm an angel. It's like, the fact that you need to persuade other people that one group of people are evil kind of puts a bit of question on that. Obviously, there's two motivations. There's one, which is basically, this is the princess of the land, but her mum is Lilith. And we do use some of the names. I don't know how correct it is. I do find it interesting that, like, I think Lucifer is the dad, and his daughter is Lilith. And I think I've been watching, like, too much Husband Hotel because of that. And also the Bible is like Lilith supposedly is the first wife. It's very confusing. I don't care. Because it's like her brother is Beelzebub. I find it interesting nonetheless that like, and then she sort of gets the red eye because all the demons have these like red glints to their eyes, which I think is interesting. I also like that this angel is really hellbent on like destruction of this stuff, because at a certain point you see that what the army general wants is just a way to be like, yeah, no, we have power, you cannot do this to us again. It's basically like you hurt us, so we're gonna prove why you shouldn't do that again, even though the other side doesn't want any of this. But the angel's like, no, we need to get rid of all the fiends, kill them all. Which I like, the general's like, no, I don't want that. He doesn't want that specifically. He just wants to prove that his country has this power. Which is interesting that, like, I don't know if there's going to be more with, like, different, like, the waterlands or this land, but it's really interesting showing that. I wasn't like the ending being like, oh, you're here for a bit of training. A bit of, like, trying to not be evil. Because he's still doing, I'm the hero. And, like, I'm the good guy. Because fiends are evil. Which is really interesting. And really fun. So yeah. This is fun. This is entertaining. I love the demon stuff. It's really interesting that way. Definitely when you get like the opposite. Because season 1 you mostly focus on the demons. And then you introduce, not season 1. The first part is mostly you introduce the demons. And the second part you start introducing the angels. Which I think is fun. But yeah. And yeah. Attack on Titan. Season 2. This is going to be interesting. But yeah, I hope you enjoy. And good night.